I'm going to start my presentation without any further delay. Today's presentation is about Fusion Solar, creating account, plant, and connecting to smart logo. So this is a very interesting session. This will be a little longer than my previous presentations. Please bear with me a little longer on this one. First, we will see how to create an account. Then we will discuss how to add a PV plant, what is the installer role, how to manage PV plants being an installer, and then we will speak about the owner role, how to manage PV plants being an owner of the plant. And then I will also talk about connecting the smart logo to the Fusion Solar via WebUI, which is a little, cumbersome process for the most of the people, which required my explanation in this presentation as well. Uh, this screen is showing you the hierarchical user account management. We are the value-added partner of Huawei Fusion Solar. Huawei Fusion Solar has a platform of PV plant management, which is called FusionSolar. Now, under that platform, Jubaili Bros has already an account. Jubaili Bros has the VIP account. The VIP account can create distributor accounts, and then the distributors can create the for their subcontractor accounts, and the subcontractors can create uh, accounts for the owners for the PV plants. So any account that will be created by the distributor will be able to be seen by the VIP as well. And the VIP can help them in rectifying the issues by directly going to the PV platform online and looking at what are the errors and what are the actions that needs to be taken by the distributor. Similarly, all the installed plants by the installer can be seen by the distributor, and the distributor simultaneously the VIP can also see all those PV plants that are created by the installer. So this hierarchical user account management has the benefit that the account which is on the top can see all the PV plants created by the sub accounts. I will now show you my screen, which will tell you briefly, which will show you about how different accounts can be created on the Fusion Solar. So this video shows that how a VAP account is created under there, how the distributor accounts are created, and then how the distributors can create installer account, or the VAP can directly make an installer account. So whenever we create an account for a colleague or a company, we need to associate PV plants to those companies or those installers. Okay, guys, I'm sorry that you couldn't have heard the audio of this call, this mm, video. Uh, I will explain this video also in my presentations point to point. I will go to the next slide now. As shown in the video, there can be multiple roles when you create a PV plant. A user can be an installer, a user can be a user, or a user can be a guest as well. So here, all the authorities of the PV plant are assigned to an installer, which is normally the company that installs the PV project. They can do all the modifications, they can do the configuration of the devices, and they can download the logs, they can see a lot of things in detail. As compared to installer, the user has very less authority, and under the home page, they can just see the few plants that are assigned to them. They can see the device details, they can see the energy flow, and one thing in specific that the owner roles have is the kiosk mode, which I will also explain in my presentation. Okay, now the first thing which was shown also in the video was about the self-registration to get the first VIP account. Now this is done by Jubaili Bros, and Jubaili Bros can now create account for you. Let's suppose if you want Jubaili Bros should not create an account and you want yourselves to create that account, you can go into the sg5.fusionsolar.huawei.com, and then this window will be prompted. The first screen on the left side. On that screen, you will have installer registration, company registration. You will click that, and the next window will pop up. You will fill up the screen with the required information, and it will take you to the next stage where it will send you an email to the email address which you mentioned on the second step. You will go to your email address. You will confirm your account creation, and then it will be completed. Then you can use the username and the password that you have created and log in the FusionSolar. With an installer account, soon as you log in, so you will have multiple tabs. If you want to create an installer account, now you created a company account for that particular company, you want to create an installer account. You want to assign engineer A an account so that he can go and create PV plants or create sub accounts for the distributor. So this is how you will do. Being a VAP, under the settings, you will go click the add option. Under the user management, you will go and click the add option, and then this small window will pop up, which you will fill up with the requirement information of the company that you want to create the information for, and then you will choose what role do you want to assign to that person, which you have just filled the information of on the top. You have the option of choosing installer, owner account, or the guest role, and then you will go to the next step. So in that screen which I showed to you earlier, the account creation gets completed for that particular person, and then the next step goes to the create distributor account. Again, this was shown in the video uh, which I showed to you earlier. Jubaili Bros, who is the VAP, I can create this distributor account for you, or installer account. So what happens is that if you want to create a distributor account, you go to the screen, you go to the plan management, you go create the company, your company name, and then you will have the option of add. You will click that. That will prompt a small window of creating that the new company under yourself, and then once you complete that, it will take you to the next option of making installer account or owner account for that new company that you just created. Then you click add, fill up the same information the way that I showed you in the previous screen, assign a role to that, and then okay, and then it will complete the process. Within this step, you can also authorize that particular person to look into already created PV plants. So here you will have an option of authorized PV plants. So you can also give the authority to view that particular PV plants which are already commissioned and being live on the FusionSolar. The third step is create an installer account, which I already explained to you. And now how to add a PV plant. Now you created account. Now you have an installer role. The next step is that you have installed a particular PV plant and you have connected it to the FusionSolar, and you want to create a PV plant to monitor it. So these steps will show you how you will do that. So the first step is that you will do the commissioning of that PV project. How you will do that? You have a FusionSolar mobile app. You will open that. You will scan one of the you will scan one of the barcodes on the inverter that will see all the serial numbers of the of the equipment that are registered under that PV plant. So it starts with the first step of setting basic parameters. So once you set the basic parameters, which are the country where you have installed, it will automatically detect the grid code for that PV project. It will also detect the local time for that automatically. You do not need to give them the timing. It will take from the management itself. And the next step is device detection. The next window, once you complete it, the next window will be device detection. It is also auto detection of local components. So what happens, you will put the serial number of one of the devices in that PV plant, and the system will, the FusionSolar app will automatically detect the rest of the components that are installed and are connected in the same PV plant. The third step is, after finishing the second, is connect to management system, WLAN 4G fast Ethernet supported. So you have to connect your PV plant to a management system, which is actually the cloud of the FusionSolar, so that the data of this PV plant goes to that cloud where you can access when you create the PV plant. So how do you do that? You connect your smart logger or the dongle, which are the devices sending the data of the PV plant to the cloud, to the while providing it the third step, the the address of that server, which is sg5.fusionsolar.huawei.com, and then you will submit that. After that submission, it will show you green on all the steps, that all steps are completed 100%, and then you will end the process. So this is the quick commissioning process, and then your system will get live. Fusion Solar app to register a PV plant. Now you did the commissioning, you connected your PV plant to the Fusion Solar cloud. Now from that cloud you have to access the data. So you will create a PV plant for that in order to access that data. So for that purpose, you have a Fusion Solar mobile app again, which you can use after the first step, which is actually the local commissioning of that devices. You will go to the next step of setting basic information of that PV plant. You will you will assign the PV plant a company. You will assign that the basic information, the PV capacity, then when it is commissioned, and that all, and then you will proceed to the third step, which is equipment connection. Then again here you will detect, you will put the serial number of one of the devices in that PV plant. Again, it will detect all the connected devices in that PV plant, and then you go to the next step, and then it finishes. So this is how you will create a PV plant using the Fusion Solar app by using an installer account. You have alternate option of using the Huawei Fusion Solar website to create the PV plant. Using your installer account, you will log in. On the very first screen, you will see this option of add PV plant at the right side. You'll click that, and this small window will pop up. You will provide the basic information, the company name, and the PV plant capacity, and that all you will do the string configuration. You will do the price configuration, and then you provide the rest of the information regarding the PV plant. Once you submit that, it will complete the whole process of creating that PV plant. Okay, so the second step when you are creating this PV plant on the website is to add the devices. Again, as I said earlier, using the Fusion Solar, that you will put the serial number of one of the device, and the rest of devices will be automatically detected. In the second step, again on the website, you will put the serial number of one of the devices, and the rest of devices will be automatically detected. So you will go to the next. Okay. So create an end user account for the new PV plant. So once you created that PV plant, it will be live. You will be receiving the information from the cloud. You can monitor that. Now, you as an installer account can use that, but the person who owns the PV plant needs also an account, for which you will create an account of end user. For this purpose, you will go to the setting under the user management. You will click add. Under the add option, you will have these two windows. The first window will be this, where you will assign a username and password, and provide the email ID of that person, uh, give the owner role, and then associate the PV plant which was created, and then finish. Once that is done, the owner of that PV plant will automatically receive an email with the username and password which you have created. Alternatively, you can also provide that username and password to your end user. So, as an installer role, how to manage PV plants? So, at the end of this presentation, I will also show the Fusion Solar account. I will go to my browser. I will share my screen and will tell you all of these features. Try to show you all of these features live on the Fusion Solar itself as well. Home page of installer role account. So, if you have installer role account, the first thing that you will see is this page. On the top, you will have multiple option of settings, KPI dashboard, and underneath there you will have multiple menus of O&M dashboard, real-time alarms. You will have plant KPI, and then you will have plant list at the bottom. All the plant that are installed under that installer account can be seen here. One thing I would like to advise is that when you create an installer account for your company, either yourself or us, we- I suggest that you use the installer account for all the PV plants that will be created by any of your colleagues. Uh, it will benefit you in viewing all the PV plants under one window. So if you click on the KPI dashboard on the top, this is what you will see. On the left, you will have the plant planning. You will see the total capacity of all installed projects and the total number of PV plants you will see here. Beneath that, you will have the real-time power of all the PV plants current generation and the power curve. And below that, you will have the yields and income, how much energy is generated and what is the total income of those all generation. On the at the center, you will have this map of world map where all those PV plants are installed. On the right side, you will have the social contribution to see how much CO2 um, have you saved, and standard coal savings equivalent free tree planting. So just below that, you will have the O&M statistics, that how many PV plants you have, how many of them have critical issue, major issue, warnings, and that all. Just below that, you will have another information called yield ranking. So if you have multiple PV plants, you will see the one with the highest yield on the top, and the next one in the second, and third, in the third place. Okay. Now on the home page, you will have an option of O&M dashboard. So if you click that, this window will pop up. Uh, on the left side, you can see there is an option of plant comparison, which I will also speak in detail about. Below that, there is plant status center. At the center, again, there is this world map where you can see the location of all the different PV plants that are installed under your account. On the right side, you will have plant alarm center with the remote notification, device maintenance, and the device access. Beneath that, we have one very interesting feature called the smart IV curve diagnosis, and I will also speak about it in detail. So now, how do you do a plant comparison? So you will click that under the O&M, and then you will choose one or two PV plants here. So when you choose those two PV plants, it will compare the specific yield of those two PV plants throughout the day. That Yeah, so this will tell you exactly which PV plants installed. Let's suppose in Dubai, one place is generating what is specific yield at what particular time of the day, and you can compare it to a second PV plant installed in Dubai. That what is the specific yield of that PV project. So this way you can understand how your PV project was installed and which one is providing you a better yield, and such factors which you had considered in those PV plants will give you an information how to better design your PV plants in the future. Okay, so as I said, we have a feature of smart IV curve diagnosis under the O&M dashboard. If you click that, the first time it will ask you to do the string configuration of the PV plant. Now you have installed your PV plant. The Huawei Fusion Solar doesn't know what is the string length connected to each PV's input. So you have to define which solar module brand you chose, what is the power of that, what is the temperature coefficient, and that all you will provide a detailed information. So a lot of solar PV modules are already in the database of FusionSolar. You can pick any of those if you have chosen and installed the PV modules from that list. Otherwise, if you don't find the PV module which you have used in PV plant in the Huawei FusionSolar, you can then create uh, the solar module yourself by providing all the information of the data sheet as shown in this picture. The first step, when you have done this, when you have done the proper stringing and set the parameters of the input PV string to the inverter, then you can do the smart IV curve analysis. So after the analysis, you will get RV curve diagnosis report. These report will show you which strings are healthy and which strings are having faults. The faults could be of 14 different types which FusionSolar can detect. So these window will display the faulty string. It will show you the quick description and will show you also the troubleshooting procedure that you can do in order to mitigate the issue. At the bottom, you will also see comparison analysis of IV curve. So the best way to get the information from the for the IV curve is by downloading the IV curve report. Now you will have the option of downloading a PDF report, which will give you the IV curve of each string, and below that you will see whether the string is healthy or not as a note. Further, you will also have an option of downloading an Excel report. The Excel report will enclose the information of all those strings which are faulty and will provide you the suggested remedy in order to solve those issue of those faulty strings. So these two reports you will get on the FusionSolar. Okay. Now, if you have an installer role and you want to go to see one of the PV plants, you will see this window in particular. So on the top, you will have the plant layout, module level monitoring, device management, detailed operation of each device, real-time energy flow, energy management, which will be shown to you in terms of graph. On the right side, there will be real-time alarm. At the bottom, there will be another graph which will show you the yield and income. So we'll speak about the plant layout creation. If you're using Huawei PV optimizers, then you have this function of creating physical layout on the Huawei FusionSolar, and subsequently you can check what is the output of each solar PV module even. So these will give you the information about the energy generation of each PV module. It will show you the module health status based on the module color. The blue color will tell you the modules are normal. So as shown in this picture, all the modules are blue, which means all of them are healthy. If any of them would have been red, that would mean that that solar PV module has a fault, and a gray color would mean that that solar module is disconnected through its optimizer. If you click on one of those PV modules, it will give you the detailed information of that particular optimizer connected to that PV module. So device management. Okay, so you have a tab on the top of device management. If you click on the PV plant, you go to the device management. You click on one of the devices, you will have this window as shown in the slide. So you will have the detailed information of that particular device. If you have multiple strings, you will get the current and voltage of each string in this window, and you can scroll through different devices. Either it is inverter, it is battery, or it is meter, or it is P optimizer. You can click any of them and you will get the detailed information of that particular device under the device management. Okay, now create a physical layout by installer. So if installer want to create a physical layout, he has two options. If, on the top left, if you see, you upload the Huawei physical layout template for reference. So you will have a PDF which you can print, and with each optimizer you will have these barcodes. You can take out those barcodes and you can paste on that printed page, and then finally you can take a picture of that. Alternatively, you have the option of physical layout through the system, so that's also an option. And the second step, what you will do, either you will upload that picture which you have taken of that sheet, or you will create this layout yourself. If you have used optimizer, then you can use this feature. The third step is that if you want to delete any of the PV plants, you can delete. And the fourth step is just to finalize and approve the layout that you have created. Okay, under the device management, if you click any of the devices, you will be prompted with the tab of historical information display. If you click that, you will have multiple parameters of that device. It could be voltage, it could be grid phase, it could be inverter efficiency, temperature, active power, reactive power, yield, and that all. So you will have an option of selecting two parameters at a time, and you can get a graph for both at a time. These graphs will I'll show you the specific information for both of that parameters, and it will also show you a comparison of those two if you can correlate those two parameters. Plant sharing function. You can also do the plant sharing with other installer accounts. Let's suppose under your company you have two installers. Installer one creates the account, and installer one can only view that view plant. Now he want to give an authority to the installer two as well to view that view plant. So this window prompt you on how you can share the authority of this particular view plant which installer one have created to the so that installer two can also view that. So under the plant management, you will go and click the share option. This is the plant management under the settings. You will select that particular plant. Then you will click the share option, and then you will give the email ID of your installer colleague and share that. Okay, now we spoke of the installer role. Now the slides are about the owner role, how to manage PV plants. This is the first window when an owner role will open and log in. They have limited access to the feature. One thing which they have an option as compared to an installer role in the top is a kiosk mode. On the right side, they will see the PV plants real-time energy flow. For all the PV plants, it will be a summary, energy management, and then similarly the graph of yield and income. On the right side, there will be real-time alarms and social contribution. Energy management. Now, this is something very good for an owner to be aware of, that how much energy has their PV plants generated during the day, and how much of that has been consumed, and how much has been exported, how much energy has been taken from the grid in order to support their load. So if you see on this screen, it shows you self-consumption rate and self-sufficiency rate. So the graph, if you see at the bottom, shows you two lines. The red line, which shows you the load. If you have installed a power meter, then this red line will appear and it will show you how much your load is consuming at particular time of the day. The blue line will tell you how much is the production of your PV plant. So on the top of that, you will see this horizontal bar which is blue color now as shown in this screen. Here it shows you on the left side a percentage figure, on the right side again a percentage figure. As shown here, it is 100%. It means that all that is being produced, all in power that is being produced by the solar plant is consumed by your load. On the right side, the zero means that 0% has been exported towards the grid. So on the right side again, you will have this bar graph with two colors. The blue will have its percentage and the red will have its percentage. The blue will show the self-sufficiency rate. It means how much you are self-sufficient. Let's suppose as here it is shown 55%. It means that during the day 55% of your energy has been produced by your PV plant and has been consumed. Rest 45%, which is in the red section, shows that 45% of energy has been taken from your grid in order to run your loads. So this is a very good indication of the how your PV plant is beneficial. Under the kiosk mode on the top, if the owner role click, they will be prompted with this small window where they will turn on this kiosk mode and will have this automatic link and copy that. Once they create this kiosk mode and send this link to anybody, they will be able to go and put that link on the browser and see this window. So this window will appear without any password for that person by just putting that link sent by the owner role. This is a very good way of showing the KPI of your PV plant to any person if you want to. The kiosk mode is supported by multiple browsers such as Chrome, such as Internet Explorer, and that all. Now we spoke of multiple roles as well, and now once you have installed a PV plant, you have a smart logger, and you want to connect it to the FusionSolar. I will speak of how you will do that. The basic mean of doing that is using the web UI. So you have installed your PV plant, you have installed the smart logger. Now the first thing is that to configure your smart logger. So for that you will connect your laptop to the smart logger and do this basic configuration. You will go to the local area network setting. You will go to the IPv4 setting and provide the IP address that which would be in the same range of your default IP address of the smart logger. So you will put it 192.168.0.15 and the subnet mask would be 255.255.255.0 and then you click OK. Now your laptop IP address is in the same range as of your smart logger. The smart logger IP address as shown in the third line here is 192.168.0.10. You will copy this IP address. You will open one of your browsers, which could be Chrome, which could be Internet Explorer. You will paste this IP address here, and then the web UI will be opened, which is the interface to your smart logger. You are connected to your smart logger via Ethernet cable. Then you can access the web UI portal. You will open the web UI and you will log in to the web UI as an admin or a special user if you have the old smart loggers, and the default password is change me with the capital C. The first time when you will open the web UI, it will ask you to change the password. So it is up to you if you want to. This is how the web UI will look. Then connect PC to the WAN port of a smart logger or the router to which a smart logger is connected, and then you can access the web UI. Once you have logged in as an admin or as a special user, you will go to the settings and change the wide network settings. Why would I need to change the settings of the wide network? Because my router has a gateway, has a specific IP address that I can assign to this device. So for that, first thing is that I will choose what IP address should I assign to my smart logger. So I will change the default IP address and I will put the gateway of my router. So here I will put the default IP address that I want to assign the smart logger, the new IP, subnet mask, and then the default gateway of your router, and then subnet. Now you have given the new IP address, you have defined the gateway of your router in the smart logger. Then you can disconnect your laptop from the smart logger and connect your smart logger to the router. in this step, uh, what you did is that you did a basic configuration of your smart logger so that it can be accessed through the internet router. Now you can go connect your laptop to the router, and then you can access via router as well your smart logger with the new IP address that you have assigned to it. So setting wide network parameter. Let's suppose the gateway of your router is 192.168.1.10. It means it is a different gateway. So the default gateway, which is 0.10 at the end, needs to be changed in the smart logger. So for that purpose, you go to the wide network setting and change that. And accordingly, you will provide the smart logger IP address, the gateway, and define the primary DNS, secondary DNS, and then you're happy to proceed with. Sometimes when the EPCs are installing in a particular premises of a client, normally in the commercial sector, they have a specific IT team that can help you guys with these particular settings. So please take the help of those IT guys in that premises that can provide you this specific IP address, that can provide you the gateway of the router of that premises, and you can do these all settings. Okay, now you did the wide setting. The next option is to under the setting option to connect your smart logger to the management system to send data of PayPal plan to the cloud. So for that purpose, you will click under settings, you will go to the management system, and on the top you will have the server, the port. So under the server, you will write here sg5.fusionsolar.huawei.com and go to the next line, the port, you will write here 27250 as shown and then submit. Now, after this step, your PV plant will be sending data, your smart logger will be sending data through your internet router to the cloud. So as I described earlier, you will change the server. Here it is mentioned intl.fusionsolar.huawei.com. Instead of intl, you would mention sg5.fusionsolar.huawei.com, which is the server address for the Middle East and Africa. Port number remains the same, 27250, and you will click submit. The lines which are underlined are the only lines which you will be needing to change and submit. Thank you guys. My presentation is now completed. I will now I will share my screen and will show you the FusionSolar installer account for you, that how it look, and then again I will try to specify all of those features that FusionSolar have via this live platform. So if you guys have any question, meanwhile, please write it down in the chat section by clicking the question mark, and then I will be answering those questions after I have shown to you this live FusionSolar account. Okay, so this is an installer account. I hope all of you can see now my screen. This is now a live platform. It is an installer account. On the top, you can see we have the home page, which is you can see right now the setting, the message, the switch to dashboard, and then our section. On the top, you have the home page, report management, device management, intelligent O&M. Here under the home screen, you have the plant KPIs. giving you the data of all the PV plants. Similarly, the plant status, how many PV plants you have. Here I have only shown one of our PV plants under this installer account. If there is nothing faulty, if there is any faulty PV plant, it will show you the number here and how many of the PV plants are offline. On the right side, you'll see the real-time alarm, how many of your PV plants have alarm, how many of them are critical, major, minor, or any suggestions for the alarm by the FusionSolar. It will also be telling you that. So at the bottom, you will see all the list of the PV plants. Here, since only one, so you can see that. I said you can create a PV plant. So here is the option of creating the PV plant. Add PV plant. You can click this, and it will prompt up this window. You will put up the basic parameters of the PV plant, the plant name, installed capacity, grid connection time, contact person, and that all. And you will go to the next step. In the next step, you will provide the access device, which is the serial number of any of the devices. It will detect the rest of the devices. You will put the basically string configuration for its string, how many kilowatt you have installed. The fourth step is electric price configuration. The fourth step is the other information. After all of these steps, you will be creating that PV plant, and then you can assign that PV plant to an owner or another installer as well. So I will close this. So under the settings, if I click, here is all the different options that you have: account settings, plant management, parameter configuration, role management, user management, data management, upgrade management, and that all. So let's suppose under your company, you want to create an installer account, for another person. So you will go to the role management here, user management here, and then you will create the company here, and then you will click your company name here and here in this screen, and then you can create an installer account for that company, and then choose that company for which you want to create this installer account or owner account. So this is the user management. I will go again to the home page. So I want to show you the device management. Okay, so if I click this particular PV plant, a new window will pop up, which will show me the specific data of that particular PV plant, because the home page is under the installer account was showing me the data of all the PV plants. So this new window will pop up. Okay, so this PV plant is now generating 74 kilowatt, then the output of inverter is 73 kilowatt. So yeah, it will show you this graph. At the bottom, it will show you the energy generation, and again it will show you the energy yield and the income of that particular point of the day. On the right side, at the bottom, you have social contribution. These PV plant have saved 19.76 tons of coal, and similarly other benefits. There has been no real-time alarm on this. It will show you the weather forecast for this PV plant in the area that it is installed. So it is showing me that today it is 30 to 38 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow's data and next Thursday's data. It is taking it from live from the internet and showing you this data. So in order to get this weather forecast, you have to give under the plant registration stage, you have to give the an address which the FusionSolar can understand. Since FusionSolar is connected to the Google Maps, so you have to choose particular map location of that PV plant in the FusionSolar. Okay, so now under this I have the plant layout. If I have optimizer, I can create the plant layout and I can see individual module data here. Under the report management, I have a different option of the plant report by day, by month, by year, by life cycle. And similarly, these graphs will show me the production in kilowatt hour and also the income. I can also export this file and to get the data of this PV plant. Similarly, on the inverter report, if I click, I have two inverters in this PV plant. I can click on this inverter model and I can get the data of this particular inverter. If I have battery, which is something coming as a new option in the future, with the future inverters, I can also view the data of that. So I will click the device management. So here on the left side, you will see all the PV plants that are installed. Here I will click the Jubaili Office Software PV project, which I'm viewing now. And then I have all the devices under this PV plant. If I click on any of the serial numbers of the devices, like by double clicking, it will prompt to this new window. So you can see that, the real-time information of this inverter, a specific inverter. So it is there is 12 strings of this inverter. There is 12 string that this inverter has, and it is showing me what is the voltage, what is the current, what is the voltage and current of each and every string. Similarly, at the output side of this inverter, it is showing me the voltage and current. At the bottom, it is showing me more information, the daily energy, the total energy generated in the day, the current active power, reactive power, power factor, grid frequency, and all the details. Next to it, there is a tab of device information. If you click, you will get the serial number, the IP address through which it is being monitored, manufacturer name, and then serial number, model of the inverter, and that all. So at the bottom of this, you can see all the how many strings are connected, which I have configured and which I have connected to this PV plant. Alarm information, if there is any active alarm or historical alarm, you will be seeing it on the screen. So in the past, you can see there has been some grid loss. There has been turning off of the AC side due to which this alarm has been generated. And the fourth tab is the historical information. As I said in my presentation as well, here you can choose two parameters and you can view them both. So here the active power and total input power has been shown. I can go here and here will be a list of all those parameters which I can view in this screen. So I can I will unselect this one. I will go. I want to see the cumulative energy. I want to see the phase voltage A, and then I will click search. So it will generate this new graph for me, which will be showing the value of those two items that I have created, which I have chosen. So if there is a correlation between two parameters, you can also compare them in order to analyze your PV plant. Alternatively, if you click the device management, here you also again have multiple option of parameters like in device replacement, modify, delete, and export. I would like to mention for you this export feature. So if you go here, you have the option of exporting basic information of this PV plant or performance data. So you have to click what devices you want to have the information for and click the basic information or performance data to get an Excel sheet report of those devices. Okay. Again, I will go now to the alarm management. Here, if you have again any alarm, here you will again have the option of viewing them all. Close this. Under the intelligent O&M in the home screen of the installer account. Here you can go. Here, as I said earlier, you can if you have multiple PV plants, you can click the VS, which is the comparison that you can do between two PV plants to see what is the specific yield of those two PV plants and which one is generating highest compared to the other. At the center, you have this graph. At the right side, you have an alarm window. At the bottom, you have this intelligent O&M. If you click this, you can then go and do this IV curve analysis. So here you can see that this PV plant on IV curve diagnosis is already done. 4 faults were diagnosed. Total 20 strings were there, and the check time was on 24th of August 2020. So I can click here, and then I can see whether it was successful or not, the status. Alternatively, I can go in detail of this PV plant by clicking this arrow key at the left side, and I can export this uh, IV curve analysis, which I set in terms of a PDF. And if I go to the next step, I can then download the Excel report as well. This is about the intelligent O&M. So on the top, you will have switch to dashboard. If you click that, you will be prompted to this another aesthetically beautiful window. On the left side, this graph is showing you the real-time power of all the PV plants. At the bottom, energy and income. It is a little different compared to the slide which I was showing to you, because in FusionSolar platform is kept updated with time. So anything new that comes in or anything that needs to be removed or added, you will see it right now. Energy and income you will see for all the PV plants at the bottom. Again, social contributions of all the PV plants. And these map again, you can see the cumulative energy of all the PV plants on the top. I believe I have addressed a lot of things on this live portal for you guys, which I discussed in my presentation. Now I would like to go to the Q&A mode and answer each of your questions. If you have any question, please write it down, and then I'm here to answer it now. So the first question that we have here, Usman Ahmed is asking, would the AFCI feature work if optimizers are installed? The AFCI feature will not work with the, will still work by the way, but the string level monitoring will not work. Rather, you will get the feature of module level monitoring when you use that. Next question. If I have an on-grid plant, 150 kilowatt peak, 2 of 50 kTL and 2 of 20 kTL, and I want to export 60 kilowatt peak only to the grid, what should I do? Abdul Ahmed Salam, this is a good question. So you have the option of limiting the power plant output. So I had a previous session of active power control webinar. You can go and view that, which is on the YouTube. The option is that you will limit the output of 50 kilowatts and 20 kilowatts such that they will not provide output more than 60 kilowatt in total. So let's suppose the 50 kilowatts you can limit it to 20 and 20, and the 20 kilowatts to 10 and 10. So the sum of 20, 20, 10, 10 will become 60. So this way, the whole PV plant will generate a maximum of 60 kilowatt, not more than that. Okay, so I don't see any other question on the Q&A mode. So if you guys have any question, please write it down in the chat section by clicking the question mark. Bilal Tahir is asking, if I have two inverter at one location with 4G device and two inverter at second location with second 4G device, can I combine them in one PV plant since distance is more than 1 kilometer? Bilal, this is a very good question. Yes, you can. When you will be registering the PV plant, uh, you will first put the serial number of the 4G device one, and that will detect all the devices of 4G device one. Then again, you will have an option of adding more device. So you will click again more device, and then you will click the serial number of the second 4G device. So that second 4G device will again detect the related devices that is connected to that. So under one PV plant, actually you access both the 4G devices. And this way, when you finally submit that, the FusionSolar will give you the output data of those both 4G devices in under one PV plant. Rafiullah Khan has a question: why we cannot get the weather data in report Excel sheet? Okay. I believe if you are talking about weather station, so you will have all the devices that will be shown under the device management. You can download the data of those. I have particularly not experienced the weather station uh, yeah, exporting data. So I'm quite confident that you can get the weather station data as well under the device management and export that. If you have still any question on this, please write an email to technicalsolar.uae@jubailibros.com, and I would be happy to answer your question in detail. Chris has a question. Is the system report support ESS monitoring and control if the PV system is connected to ASS, a microgrid system? If you're talking of connected battery to the Huawei inverter itself, which is a feature with the single phase and residential three-phase inverters, and those batteries you can definitely monitor. But if you have batteries connected to a battery inverter and you are using Huawei inverter in AC coupling mode, then in that scenario you cannot monitor those ESS and you cannot control those batteries. Only the batteries which are compatible with Huawei inverter itself and connected to it will be able to be monitored. Next question. Can we know how much power is feeding back to WAPDA utility? We cannot know the power of feeding back to utility by online monitoring. Uh, you can actually, as I said, as I mentioned to you in my slides about the self-sufficiency rate and under the self-consumption rate and the self-sufficiency rate, you can get this information. And then the self-consumption horizontal bar, if on the right side I said it is zero, which means there was zero amount of energy exported towards the grid. So if that is, let's suppose 10 or 20%, it means the total amount of power that you have generated, 10 or 20%, whatever value is there, is exported towards the grid side. Definitely you can get this information on the Huawei FusionSolar, but for that you must use our parameter as well. Douglas has a question. We have another way to remotely monitor the devices at the PV telecom sites. Is possible we integrate our RMS tool to the PV account so we are able to remotely monitor our device at sites? This question is a bit not clear because you have mentioned RMS tool. Uh, if the purpose of this question is about the third party or PMS integration with the data of the Huawei devices, these both are possible. So you can get the data of Huawei devices to a third party data logger or a third party PLC and read that. and you can show them in your own way if you want to. So for this purpose, Huawei's all devices has open Modbus interface protocols. You can download these open Modbus protocols from Huawei support.huawei.com. Alternatively, you can send us email, and then we will be able to send you the documents of the Modbus interface as well. So Bilal Tahir has another question. Is there any option to add external antenna with 4G module to enhance signals and strength? Uh, See, 4G, we have dongle. With that, you doesn't have any option of adding any antenna. But when you are using when you are using our smart logger with the 4G feature, then it comes with this antenna, and you must use the antenna in order to uh, you get this 4G functionality out of the smart logger. I guess all the questions are answered in the chat section and the Q&A mode. So if there is no any further question, we have the survey for you about this webinar itself. Please fill up this survey, and we would be happy to make our webinars in future much better, more clearer, so that if we find that there are gaps in our webinar, we will be knowing it through these webinar survey.